The number one job of our commander-in-chief is to protect the homeland. The constitutional oath we all take as members of Congress, similar to the one I swore when I joined the military, is to protect our citizens against all enemies, foreign and domestic. I want everyone in this chamber, the American people, our allies, and our adversaries, to all hear me today. Iran, the world's most deadly state sponsor of terrorism, announced its intentions to track, target, and kill American citizens here on our shores. The radical Islamists of Iran and their proxies across the Middle East are seeking to destroy America, and they're coming here to our soil. As you can see, the Iranian regime promises to, quote, bring the orchestrators and perpetrators to justice, end quote. This is an undeniable fact, one that they have already attempted to follow through on. Iran isn't making this threat from Tehran over 6,000 miles away. They made it here, folks, in New York City. Yesterday at UN headquarters, the butcher of Tehran, Ibrahim Raisi, was flanked by his personal security force, IRGC terrorists, tagged by our Justice Department as the entity responsible for attempting to kill Mike Pompeo, John Bolton, Brian Hook, and others who ordered and executed the strike on Qasem Soleimani. This president's obligation is to safeguard and protect the life, liberty, and prosperity of our people, and to deter, defeat, and when necessary, destroy our enemies. The Biden administration's desire to bring the 2015 Iran nuclear agreement back to life is delusional. Continued renegotiation with Russia as our proxy, no joke, ignores our men and women in uniform, the Iranian dissident community, our allies and partners in the Persian Gulf, and American citizens on the homeland who have bounties on their head today. Our Middle Eastern partners in particular are begging the Biden administration not to re-enter this so-called nuclear agreement. They plead with us not to give Iran access to $1 trillion in capital by 2030. Don't fund their military support of Russia's aggression against Ukraine. And don't fund their acts of against our own people, they ask. Mr. President, I'm demanding that America does not fund or support a regime trying to kill our own people. The president's ongoing negotiations pacify rather than hold Iran accountable for targeting American citizens. The Biden administration's foolish pursuit of peace through appeasement must be stopped, and we can start today. Yesterday, with 26 of my colleagues, I introduced the PUNISH Act, or Preventing Underhanded and Nefarious Iranian-Supported Act. My bill would enforce U.S. sanctions on Iran until the Secretary of State certifies to Congress that Iran has not supported any attempt or activity to kill a U.S. citizen, former or current U.S. official, or Iranian living within the United States. Specifically, it would codify the Trump administration's maximum pressure sanctions, as well as preserve sanctions put in place by the Obama and Carter administrations. It's hard to believe that after countless attacks on Americans and multiple confirmed plots against U.S. officials, the Biden administration continues with these negotiations. President Biden should not provide a dime of sanctions relief to the largest state sponsor of, which is actively trying to keep U.S. officials and citizens at home and abroad. I will remain committed to protecting the homeland, our troops and officials abroad from the Islamic regime in Iran.
Now they're leaking that they may actually be charging Hunter Biden with very minor charges relative to the crimes that he apparently committed. And look, we don't want bad stuff to happen, but they're leaking that a couple of minor charges relatively compared to the kind of charges that they could be. And that's up to them. But are they actually going to do the right thing and hold the Bidens accountable? Or is this just a charade and an excuse to continue targeting me and our movement of Make America Great Again and America First? I don't know. I think they're doing this for a little reason. I think they want to target us, and they make it look a little bit more fair when they throw out a couple of charges about Hunter. No, you know what's happening. It's a disgrace what's happening in this country. And it is prosecutorial misconduct, and the people in this country aren't going to take it. Remember this. They've come after me now for 6 years. A friend of mine who's a very successful guy said, you have to be the most honest guy in the world. My son, who runs the company, Eric Trump, he's probably in the history of the world, he's probably the most subpoenaed person from Congress every week, every day, every month, we got to a point where we just stack them up. But there's never been anything like it. It's a disgrace. You know, instead of focusing on our country and focusing on all the problems ahead and focusing on all the potential that we have as a country, all they do is keep investigating the Russia hoax. And it seems to be always turning around, doesn't it? Where they created the Russia hoax, and they were the ones that dealt with Russia in order to create the fake document, the fake dossier, and all of the things that they've done, the crimes that they've committed. It's a disgrace. But it's crystal clear that they're coming after me because I fight for you and I fight for America, and they're not used to that because they don't want people fighting for America. And because we are leading big in all the polls and winning all across the country, both against Republicans, which, you know, I'm proud to do, and Democrats, which I'm even more proud to do, but we're winning against everybody. Never before in American history has our country seen such corruption and abuse of power as we are witnessing right now. Right now, the radical left is no longer about socialism. It's not anymore. It's about communism. They've stepped over socialism. They've forgotten about the word socialism, and that's where our country is headed. And I predicted this a long time ago. I saw what was happening. I predicted a lot of things. You ever see the hat? Trump was right about everything. Look what happened with Russia. Should have never happened, what's going on with Ukraine and Russia. If the Democrats win, the communists win. And soon they will send their thugs, their criminals, their angry left-wing prosecutors and the new IRS agents that are allowed to carry guns, by the way. You know, they're all anti-gun, right? But the prosecutors, these agents are allowed to carry. Think of that. They want to stop you from having a gun, but those people are allowed to carry guns. They want to walk in and come after you. If Republicans win, the communists lose, the globalists lose, the deep state bureaucrats lose, the Silicon Valley censors lose, the corrupt fake news lose, the media bosses lose, and the rhinos lose. The rhinos are no good. But America wins, and America wins very big.